Your first hour awake determines the quality of your next 23. I absolutely transformed my life with this strategic morning routine plan, and I'm gonna show you how to do it as well. Starting with your first 30 days, building your foundation. I'm gonna share the framework with you in the Good Morning, Good Life Planner. This is actually the Desert Dawn pink shade at Amy Landino & Co. I'll leave the link down below, but you're also welcome to do this on just any pen and paper. So if you have read my book, then you know that my method for starting the day on your terms begins with 3 key moments: movement, mindfulness, and mastery. In order to have a strong foundation of a great morning routine, it's those 3 things. I think you check those off and you feel like you are ahead for the day. They're extremely malleable. They're supposed to work with what starting a day on your terms means to you. I could tell you to meditate. I could tell you to journal. I could tell you to go to a Pilates class. I could tell you to start writing your book. If those things don't speak to you, if they don't fill your cup, if they're not working toward the goals that you're trying to reverse engineer, then why would I prescribe a morning routine for you? Figuring out what movement, mindfulness, and mastery mean to you is what we need to do. So when you go to the monthly spread for the planner, you'll find in that early section that there is a place for you to figure out your good morning moments. And you know what? You might do the exact same thing every day when you figure out what you love for the rest of your life. But there's other people who want to change it up. And that is why I think it's important to reassess what your morning moments are going to be every month to really feel like you're locked into the right ones. So in these first 30 days, we just need to figure out where we think we want to be if we really are waking up and excited to get out of bed to do the things that we want to do. There was a time for me where movement was just literally get out of bed, stretch a little bit, and go to the bathroom and do skincare. Move the muscles on your face. That's all I felt I needed in terms of movement for the longest time, because I usually wouldn't get to an actual real workout or any kind of fitness until later in the day, sometimes midday. But lately I've been all about getting a workout in much earlier in the day because I know how much energy I get out of it to be able to do everything else I need to do. Plus the fact that I'm in a season of having 2 kids under 3, it really helps me a lot. So for me, movement looks like weight training. Next is mindfulness, and this is just whatever it means to you to center yourself, to think on your own terms to start the day. This is why I don't reach for my phone first thing. I might tap the alarm so it will be quiet and turn off, but I don't check my notifications after that. I go straight for something that makes me feel like I'm taking control of the day and not being told what to think by whoever decided what notifications I was supposed to get. Which, by the way, pro tip, don't turn your notifications on. But you and I both know that there are the go-to things that you check whether you've been notified or not. That's why I don't touch my phone. So for me, mindfulness, actually, I've never written this one down before, but I've realized lately it is a mindful act every time I make the bed. And you've probably heard that advice in so many places. You should make your bed every day. I just do it because it makes me feel like I got a task done, I've completed something, I feel good, and I like the way my room looks. I can carry on with my day. But my big mindful moment in the morning is reading. I read 10 pages of a self-development book every single day because if I'm not feeling good, if I have bad dreams, if I have worries, if I'm struggling with whatever I was thinking about the day before, I need someone who put all their blood, sweat, and tears and their A game into a book to make me feel like my best self. You might decide to add meditation here. You might decide to add journaling. Morning pages is something I'm a huge proponent of. How can you just do something mindful to make yourself feel centered? And mastery is by far my favorite because most people who are looking for how to be more productive and manage their time better, have a better morning routine, do the things that they love more often, are the ones who haven't made the time for the things that actually feel like a priority to them or feel like the moment that they have decided to take ownership over their life. So what do you want to become a master of? Is it that you want to become a full-time entrepreneur? Is it that you want to travel to another country and be able to speak their language? Is it that you want to learn how to play an instrument? What is your mastery thing? If you have to put 10,000 hours into something, what would it be? Mastery for me a lot of the times is write my book, this thing I keep talking about to you but not telling you more details about. So maybe I'll put in a little bit of time of writing the next chapter of my book. I also sometimes just write content if I have some ideas that I want to try to get down on paper while it's still quiet. My favorite thing to do for mastery if I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun is to practice Italian. I have my go-to app that's teaching me a little bit of Italiano. If I have gone to the gym after I did some reading and made the bed and practiced some Italian, I leave the gym feeling like a queen. Like Throw something at me today. I dare you, because I can handle it, because I did the things that matter to me first, which makes it more possible for me to take on any other challenge, especially a toddler. Here's what I like so much about mastery. If you don't have unlimited time, you can make these categories work for you. You can do your skincare, you can read a few pages of a book, and then you can practice a foreign language, and you can do all of that in less than 30 minutes if you really had to. So start small. Start with something that is feasible for you, especially if you haven't practiced waking up earlier. In these first 30 days, just give yourself the grace of saying, I am only going to allow this amount of time because I'm not going to overextend myself and wake up too early. And these are going to be the things that I do for the first 30 days that are enough. You can write more options on here than you even intend to do so that you know the options that are available to you each time. Maybe you end up waking a little earlier than expected, and so you can choose something else from your list. Don't limit yourself, but also don't give yourself so many options that you feel like you really couldn't achieve everything. People's morning routines go wrong because they try to do too much. The morning routine is not how you win at life. The morning routine is just supposed to help you be the best version of yourself so that you can do the things that make you win in life. Just because you have this perfect aesthetic morning routine does not mean that all other aspects of your life are falling into place, but they are much more likely to go better because of the person that you become by taking this challenge. Here are some common obstacles for your first phase. Let's say you're the I hit snooze 10 times person. Well, if that's the case, that is probably about an hour. 10 snoozes is about an hour. And so you may have set yourself up to wake up too early. What you need to do is reverse engineer when you wake up, and that is going to be indicated by how much sleep you got, which we'll talk about in a little bit. For those of you who say, I have young kids, it's all very unpredictable. I feel you. I have to say it's a little chicken and egg on this one. The better you are with routines, the better your kids are with routines. The more you hold yourself accountable on routines, the more you hold your kids accountable on routines. There are gonna be seasons of your life where your kids just do whatever they want, and you have to go through the phases of sleep regression and being afraid of the dark and the evening routine taking an hour and a half sometimes, which drives me insane, but we are working through it. But what I know for sure is that I prioritize going to sleep as soon as possible after my kids go to sleep. And that allows me to wake up when I want to wake up because I know what time roughly they wake up. And for those of you who think that this isn't going to work for you, or you've tried and it's not because you're just not a motivated person, you're probably right. You're not motivated. So who are you and what is it that would actually get you motivated? I am not a morning person. I don't get excited to get out of bed every day, if not for the fact that I love what I do. I love time to myself. I love getting to do the things that help me start the day on my terms. And I know if I just push through the crappy hard part and get the crusties out of my eyes, that we're almost there. We've almost made it to the coffee machine, and it gets so much easier after that. By the way, we're working on a goal here on the channel to reach 500,000 subscribers. So if you haven't done it already, please click that button. Moving on to days 31 through 60, which is expanding your routine. So let's say things are going okay in those first 30 days. You spend 30 minutes on a quick morning routine. You fill your buckets, you check it off the list. You're probably hoping to spend a little bit more time on it. If the first 30 days have gone well, this is probably going to expand fairly naturally for you. If you want more out of your morning routine, you're going to make more time for it. You're gonna wake up a little bit earlier. You're gonna wanna do more things. And all of this comes down to managing your energy on what you want to spend time on so that you can reverse engineer that timing. This is why probably the most important features of this planner is the timeline map. Because for those people who are thinking, I'll never be a 4 a.m. person, I'll never be a 5 a.m. person, it's only because you haven't made the whole of the day's clock make sense of it. So I like to say that your morning routine starts the night before. And as you expand your routine and make that more possible in your life, you have to have this figured out. So let's say you want to wake up at 5 a.m. We're gonna call it 5 a.m. wake up call. Your ability to make that happen has to do with whether or not you went to sleep on time. So if you're gonna wake up at 5 a.m., let's say you need to be asleep, depending on your amount of time asleep situation. Let's say you need to be asleep by 10 o'clock. I think that might be a little bit short, but I'm trying to give you as much time as possible to do things you need to and want to do. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a huge fan of calendar blocking, and that's essentially what we're doing here. We need to block our way to that sleep time. And if you need to be asleep by 10 o'clock, there's a block of time before that is meant to help you fall asleep in the first place. You're not just gonna get in bed and fall asleep. For those of us who do that, it's actually not good if you fall asleep the moment your head hits the pillow. Something is off. It should not be a normal day. For many, many more normal people, they get in bed and they have a hard time falling asleep for a number of factors. We need to plan on needing time for the body to completely shut down. So reverse engineering this block, let's say we need to be in bed by 9:30. And I also like to add reading to the routine here because a book, when I'm tired, puts me out like a light. Do what works for you. Now, if I'm in bed by 9:30, then probably, 8:45, 9 o'clock, I'm doing a nighttime routine. This is, again, skincare, maybe finishing my cup of tea before I brush my teeth, whatever the case. The wind down moments of the evening. You can continue on and on here. This can go all the way to 5 p.m. when you check out of work and what you do for a normal evening to get you to this point. But if you have not mapped out 10 p.m. asleep happening, it is very unlikely that 5 a.m. start is going to work out. The times do not matter. For anyone who works the night shift, you probably know this. The times do not matter. It is how you have cared for yourself and your body to work with the sleep hours and the daytime hours so that they complement each other. So what we're trying to do is get your body on a routine, not you, just you on a routine, your body, your circadian rhythm. When do you typically go to sleep? When do you typically wake up? Your body is going to learn that and continue to do it to a point where someday you may not even need an alarm because your body's getting so used to what the norm is. This is how you end up being able to expand that routine. If you say, wow, this is working for me, I'm focused in the morning because now I am motivated by something that gets me excited and I want to be able to do that, you can now work on that by getting up a little bit earlier as long as you show respect to the night before. So now you can block out that time and make your morning routine as dreamy as you once hoped that it would be, except this time, not for the sake of Instagram aesthetics, but for the sake of starting the day on your terms and why that actually matters to you. Now, the phase 2 struggles that I hear the most often are that I had a great routine and then I fell off. I always tell people to get back to basics when that's the case. Things happen, life happens, seasons happen. You just gotta go with it sometimes and your morning routine doesn't work out. And then if it's too many in a row, you're not feeling like your rhythm is on, and so you lose it. What are the basics? What are the 3 morning moments? When are you making them happen? Check those boxes, check those boxes, check those boxes. And when you do, you will get back into the routine. But you have to get back to it. And just like you made yourself do it to start, you got to make yourself do it again. This is why it's so much easier to stay in a flow of something when you have a good thing going and not letting it fall off because you get complacent. For those of you who are bored with your routine, then you probably don't have some great reason as to why you're doing this in the first place. I encourage you to figure out what that is. If you're bored with your routine, then it's not getting interesting at any point in time. And the entire point of having a routine is not so your life will be boring, but so that you'll have those things that are in place that keep everything, this train, on the rails. Having the time you wake up in the morning and doing the things that take care of you is what makes it possible for the rest of life to be a little bit more fun. So if you haven't figured out why you're starting the day on your terms with these check boxes and items that make you feel good, then how are you ever going to appreciate life whether your routine was good or not? And if you are someone who still thinks, I just don't have enough time, this is not for me, I don't have enough time, I have to ask you where your time is going. And I highly recommend that you start doing a time audit. A time audit is really simple. You just write down everything you do in a day. When did I wake up? What did I do first? What did I do next? Every 15 minutes, do a time audit to see what the heck happened, because it will open your eyes so much how you got to where you are today and where there might be room for you to wiggle some things around. And it's much more likely that you're not prioritizing yourself. It's far too easy to wake up at the very last minute so you're stressed out to leave the house to report to a job that you hate because someone else is holding you accountable. You do have time if you decide to be the CEO of your time and move your energy around so that it works. By the way, if you need help with this master plan, a little bit of problem solving that you just haven't been able to crack the code on, come over to my Instagram and DM me the word action. I will send you as a gift, no strings attached, my extraordinary action framework, which will really help with that. And finally, phase 3, which is days 61 through 90. At this point, you've probably fleshed out a lot more your 3 M's. So you start out with your mindful moment, you move on to mastery, and then you do some movement so that you can start to get ready for the day. This phase is all about creating a real feedback loop for yourself. So if you are going through every week and you are checking off movement, mindfulness, mastery every day, and it's working out really well for you, these buckets are going to tell you without a shadow of a doubt that you're putting the work in. It's going well, you're happy, you're doing the things. Maybe you've noticed you could tweak them a little bit, so you make a note to yourself and you say, okay, well, maybe I could do something slightly different for movement. I'm getting a little bored of the weight training plan. Great, but make sure that you're actually checking boxes and have something to track. Tracking whether or not you're doing something is important because it shows you in black and white that you're taking this seriously and that you want to improve. And if you notice that, maybe it's not going so well, and I love reading, so I always hit my mindful moment, no problem there. But I haven't really been making time for mastery. I got around to it on Thursday, and I went to the gym on Monday. I started the week off great, but then I didn't do movement at all after that. Having this as a feedback loop to say something is off here. We have not designed the plan the way it needs to go. I'm not covering the bases that I need to cover to feel at my best, is what can take you back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, how is my timeline map looking? Am I following this? Am I waking up too late? Am I waking up too early and then not having any intention? Have I been getting on my phone? What can my screen time on my phone be telling me about what I'm doing when I wake up earlier? And you need to make the adjustments accordingly. The thing that has changed my life the most is recognizing the things that are important to me and saying to myself, how can I track this every single day? The things that matter to me, things that matter to my business, things that matter to my family, things that matter to my morning routine, things that matter. I track how many books I read. I literally cannot live if I have not updated my Goodreads account on what books I'm reading right now and how many I've read this year. I track the things that are important to me on a daily basis. If something is actually that important to you, like I want to write my book someday, and now the morning routine is a real instrumental part of making that happen, and you've been doing your mastery every day, but maybe you've only written 1 page a day and it should be 5. That's a metric. And if it matters to you, you can track it. So spend this last phase looking at the details, because this is where you go pro level with everything. You will get past the majority of people in the first 30 days. Continuing and getting better after 60, and then optimizing in your final 90 days is what takes you up a notch. It's very easy to stay complacent. It's very easy to get comfortable with the fact that, well, I wake up earlier than all my friends, so it's all good. I'm better than them. I feel good about myself, and I can brag about it, and I post it on social media every day. Good for you. But what are the results of that? And can you be honest with the person that's in the mirror about that case? So use whatever check boxes you need, whether it's just as simple as tracking your 3 morning moments every day, or what the nitty-gritty details are of your goals, to have a morning scorecard. I need to check movement, mindfulness, mastery. I need to write 5 pages. I need to journal 3 pages, whatever it is. I need to do a 45-minute workout. Did I get to 45 minutes or did I not get to 45 minutes? minutes. Track it. Give yourself a place to say whether or not it happened, and you will be more honest with yourself and you will be more likely to actually get to your goal because you won't be pretending not to know that it has been going exactly the way you think. That's my 90-day transformation morning routine plan. If you want to learn how to stay focused and get things done, click the link below and I'll see you there.